It's been a while since we've been with Walter. I think it was Acquitted was the last thing we did.
Which we loved, and I've never seen any more.
Me too. Yeah, this one is a bit different. That Acquitted was a Norwegian drama. We're on another Norwegian. I suppose this is more of a comedy drama, isn't it? It's interesting we're talking about Cold Feet because it's got the same sort of vibe, I think, as
Yeah.
a Cold Feet, like just
And I'd
people sort
never
of.
ever watched a subtitled comedy either.
I would say this is sort of like a comedy drama in maybe like a sort of. I'm just trying to think maybe like some of the ones they have on Netflix, like a Master of None or a Glow, sort of, I
I
suppose.
sort of mentally compared it to Girls, having never seen Girls ever, just because there's girls
What?
in this.
Any girls?
Yeah, well, no, I've met girls. Not for long. They get ushered away, but I have met girls. They get taken away pretty quickly, but I have.
This is called Young and Promising. There's actually two series on Walter Presents, each of 6 episodes. And interestingly, they're half hours, so they're quite easy to watch. It centres around three friends in, I would say, early 20s.
Although it's set in present day. In their early 20s.
In their early
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah.
Yes, Luke. The character we follow the most in this first episode is Elise. She's a aspiring stand-up comedian. She's been living in New York for the last year or so. First thing you see is her coming back on the plane, and she's come back to Norway primarily to renew her visa. When she left Norway, she had a brief one-night stand with a friend, Anders, I believe his name is. So there's sort of the awkwardness there. She finds out her dad has been having an affair with another woman. She's now having a baby, and they're sort of, mum and dad are sort of dealing with it in a way. And there's her other two friends. There's Alex. She's a aspiring actress on the lead up to a audition for a drama school, going out with a footballer who's sort of broken his knee and is out for a year. Finally, there's Nene, who's an aspiring scriptwriter, author. She's working for a catering company. In this first episode, she just happens to be working at the house of a famous, or not the house of a famous editor, but she's working at a party where a famous editor is, and she ends up taking her home when she's drunk, and the editor basically says, "Oh yeah, I'll read your script," and that's sort of it, isn't it? I mean, the end of the final episode, Elise finds out that she's not getting her visa renewed, which I think we sort of knew, and so she's sort of stranded in Norway with this sort of family situation hanging over her head. She hasn't really got anywhere to live. She's got this awkwardness with Anders as well. So it's an interesting sort of concept. And Luke, what did you think to it? Because we haven't really talked about this apart from the fact you thought it was girls.
It was. It's interesting. We're going to be talking about the new series of Cold Feet later, as Matt mentioned, and the similarities in the fact that it's not laugh out loud. It's gentle, but you believe the majority of what is going on screen. You believe these people are connected. You believe these characters know each other. You believe the situations they find themselves in. To me, they were instantly relatable and likable. They didn't need to do much explanation of who they were, and it was such an easy watch. And like I said, I hadn't seen a subtitled comedy before. I don't know if I laughed.
No.
My favourite scenes were the ones with her parents where her mother announces, "Your dad's having a baby."
Yeah.
What, you are? No, I'm not. Your dad is. But we don't need to worry about it. It's your dad's
don't worry
thing.
about it.
Yeah, it's your dad's thing. I don't think you need to worry.
And in the
that was all
second
well done.
episode, she sort of comes into contact with the woman who's having the baby, and is quite interesting. And you see Alex's audition, and something happens there that sort of throws a spanner in the works. And
I have a ridiculous issue with it, and it's not
Yeah.
with the program. My issue is, and it's my issue alone, and nobody else will have this issue. My issue is that I struggled to watch it sat in front of the computer. I know I should be able to do it, but I really struggled to stay focused on something like this in front of the computer. I know I should be able to multitask. I'm from that generation, and I really enjoyed it, but it's not on my radar enough for me to go, I must check in on Young and Promising. That's the problem. If this were on telly and I could record it and watch it at my leisure, I probably would.
so it's Luke's ADD is basically what he's saying.
It is. You're not going to keep going, are you, or are you?
I might do, because they're only half hours, and I found out now I can download them on the Channel 4 app, so I could watch it when I sort of go on the train and stuff like that.
I think it's just that I don't like watching stuff at the computer. Next week we'll talk about Liar on ITV, which I watched via our preview site, and I was really sucked into. And Cold Feet I watched via our preview site, and it's such an easy watch that you can just about watch it, and you can send an email at the same time if you need to. I struggle with watching something like this. I don't know why.
Whereas I watch everything on the computer.
I know, but you must have such the concentration, because I think, I'll just see if anyone's Twittered me. I'll just see what my email... And before you know it, I've forgotten I'm supposed to be reading the damn thing, and I'm sending emails and I'm checking.
Well, I watch it. I can watch it on the iPad. Then I can do things on the computer.
I see. It is a good show. We've not really talked about the show, but it is.
No, there's good chemistry between the three leads. You can believe in their friendship. It whips along at a nice speed, as you say, and it focuses primarily on their careers rather than their relationships. I mean, you've got a bit, obviously, as I said, with Elise and Anders, and you've got Alex with her footballer boyfriend, but they're sort of secondary plots to like them wanting to get onto the next stage of their career. And it's nice to see like young professional females rather than people who are all sort of talking about their men and focused on their relationships. It's nice to see, and as you said, it's good to see this from a foreign perspective as well.